I'm just giddy just thinking about the excitement this race could be. But hey, if you're shooting for the stars, we're going to take an astronaut. We like astronaut. She won by 7 1/4 lengths in over a 5 furlong race. That's a big statement. If you got a hunch, bet a bunch. Back a horse and get paid. You're listening to the Horse Racing Scoop podcast, brought to you by me, Danny Brewer, your favorite turf rider from Tennessee. During these podcasts, we're going to provide information and tips on the greatest sport in the world, thoroughbred horse racing. So remember, like we always say, if you got a hunch, bet a bunch, back a horse and get paid. The 2021 Breeders' Cup is going to be contested at Del Mar, the wonderful seaside oval. If you've never been there, it's heaven on earth. I'm telling you, like I've always said, if heaven ain't like Del Mar, I don't want to go. So, will a girl enjoy the Breeders' Cup? It's November 5th and 6th. Today's edition of the podcast from Horse Racing Scoop is going to feature some of our picks, some of the ponies that you need to play when you're enjoying this wonderful, wonderful event, the greatest sporting event in the world.
So if we wanted to think about a couple of horses to play on Future Stars Friday, what youngsters do you like?
You know, the first one I like is a horse called Hidden Connection. And now, of course, she's in the juvenile fillies, which is one of these horses are contenders for next year's Kentucky Oaks.
Okay, so the Kentucky Oaks, that's the world's most famous race for 3-year-old fillies, right?
Exactly right. It's contested the day before the Kentucky Derby. So these horses are kind of using this as a prep race, if you will, to see, hey, are we good enough? How good are we? Hidden Connection, she's not trained by the most high-profile trainer. Brett Calhoun is her trainer. Super good guy, super good trainer. He's had lots of good horses, wins lots of races, but he's not your recognizable name like the Bob Baffert of the world, who has a horse in this race, the Steve Asmussen of the world, who's the all-time leading trainer as far as wins are concerned, or the Brad Cox, who's probably the hottest trainer in the game today is Brad Cox. So they've all got horses in the race, but Hidden Connection. Now here's what we really, really like about Hidden Connection. Tremendous turn of foot. She's only raced twice, but those races she won by combined 16 3/4 lengths. The first race was a 5 furlong race, which is a short race, but that was she broke her maiden at Colonial Downs, small track. That's why she hasn't gotten a lot of attention on the national stage, but she broke her maiden there. She won by 7 1/4 lengths in over a 5 furlong race. That's a big statement. So then the next race she jumped up. She ran in the Pocahontas at Churchill Downs, which is a win-in-your-in race for the Breeders' Cup. That's how she got here. She won it by 9 1/4 lengths. She jumped from 5 furlongs to 1.116 miles, and so the added distance was no problem. Talked to Brett. She's doing great. He thinks that she is really something special, and from what we've seen on the track, I must agree with him.
So Hidden Connection's your first pick, but you said you had a couple horses. Who else do you have in this race?
Well, I really like McKinnon. McKinnon is he's a 2-year-old son of American Pharoah. He's going to be running the juvenile turf.
Okay, American Pharoah, who won the Triple Crown in 2015.
Yes, American Pharoah, national. Hey, he broke the streak. You know, it had been 37 years since we'd had a Triple Crown winner, and he did it in 2015. So he's produced a pretty good crop. Now, the thing about McKinnon is he has a tremendous turn of foot. Okay, so down the lane, what you want to see in a turf horse is them really be able to accelerate, and he can do it. He's a horse that's versatile. He can run on the front end or he can come from off the pace. But that tremendous turn of foot down the lane, that's what you want to see in a good turf horse, and he has flat got it. Doug O'Neill trained, ridden by Juan Hernandez. Juan has ridden in the last few races, and Doug's going to keep him on there for the Breeders' Cup. So, you know, we really, really like McKinnon. He's won 3 in a row. 2 of those have been at Del Mar. None of them have been graded stakes races, but I don't think that really matters here. He has won a couple of stakes races. But 2 for 2 at Del Mar. Doug O'Neill, Juan Hernandez, American Pharoah. I really like it. McKinnon, I think he's going to figure out a way to keep on winning.
That's awesome. Okay, so we got Hidden Connection and McKinnon. So we've talked about the horses that we want on Friday, but we know that Saturday is a huge day of action. Is there a slam dunk that's a guaranteed ticket casher?
Well, you know, there's no such thing as a slam dunk guarantee in horse racing, because especially at the Breeders' Cup, because they're all good, as we know. But if I had to think about one horse, I would probably say Gamine. Gamine is Bob Baffert trained. She's 4 for 4 this year. She's 9 out of 10 lifetime. She's the defending filly and mare sprint champion. She won it last year, 2020. She set a track record at Keeneland in winning the race. She won it very, very impressively. So I think, if you have to pick one horse that you say, hey, look, this is a ticket casher. This is so you can enjoy cashing a ticket and making you a little bit of money. She'll probably go off at less than even money, I'm guessing, because like I said, she is for real, absolutely no question about it. So I'd say take Queen Gamine if you want that's the closest thing to a slam dunk I see on this card right now.
Right, so Gamine will be a great choice for beginners that are at the track also, because you got your slam dunk, you get to have fun, you get to cash a ticket. And then everyone likes a long shot, right? So who are some potential bombers that could generate nice return on investment?
Well, the first one that I want to talk about in this case is running the distaff. And now she may not be a tremendous long shot, but I don't think she'll be the favorite either. And that's She Dares the Devil. Latruska is in the distaff, and she will, I feel like, be an overwhelming favorite. She is won 5 in a row. She's 6 or 7 this year. She's won 17, I think, out of 21 starts. So Latruska is absolutely wonderful. She has beaten She Dares the Devil in the Ogden Phipps earlier this year. Now, the thing about She Dares the Devil is she's got lots of guts, and she really, really runs her heart out. Now, She Dares the Devil, Latruska seems unbeatable. Well, She Dares the Devil, guess what? She Dares the Devil has beaten the unbeatable once before, and that was Gamine.
In the Kentucky Oaks, right?
Exactly right. Last year's Kentucky Oaks, very good. There, yeah, we give our student an A on that one. So, yeah, she beat Gamine in the Kentucky Oaks in the 2020 Kentucky Oaks with a wonderful run. Gamine front-end speed, which is what Latruska is, front-end speed. Gamine found a way to run her down and really ran right by her and just kept on going. So, I really, really like She Dares the Devil. She Dares the Devil is 4 out of 5 in 2021, and she's won 3 in a row. So she's coming in right. Brad Cox trained. Brad Cox, like I said earlier, is one of the top, probably the top trainer in the game today as far as talent and winning races and winning big races and all that stuff. Brad Cox, he's got it going on. She Dares the Devil. She's right. I talked to Brad earlier in the week. He said she's right as rain right now. So that's good. And also She Dares the Devil has won a race at Del Mar. And I think that's important when you talk about horse for the course. Experience on a track, I think, is good. You know that they're going to like the surroundings, take to the dirt real well. So She Dares the Devil, that's going to be our first one.
So you said She Dares the Devil. She's a long shot, but she's not going to be a big long shot. Are there any other long shots that you have?
Well, I think some bigger ones will probably be in the turf sprint. The turf sprint is one of the most exciting races because it's 5 furlongs, it's a dash for the cash, and you have a 12-horse field. So it can be like when you're coming down to the wire, there can be just so many horses vying for it. This is one of the most exciting races, and it's just like a bam, bam, bam finish because it's such a short distance, and everybody's good because they're there at the Breeders' Cup. Now, Commander is a horse that I think will go off at much, much longer odds. He's got no stakes wins, but the key for Commander is Peter Miller trained. Peter Miller has just this knack for the turf sprint. He won 3 turf sprints in a row. I think he's the only Breeders' Cup trainer who has won 3 races in a row like that. So he won 17, 18, 19. 2 of those wins were with big long shots. Stormy Liberal in 17 and then Belvoir Bay in 19 were both big long shots, and he won the race. And this year, his entrance is Commander. French bred, I think that, he's run over the Del Mar course, so he knows the course and all that stuff. So I think Commander, he could be a big long shot that could come in there and certainly yield a nice payday. But Peter Miller is the key there, I think, because he knows how to get horses ready for the turf sprint, and he's got a proven record in that. And plus, Del Mar is his home course. Peter Miller lives right there near, and Del Mar is his home track. Another one that we like in the turf sprint, who I think could really come on in there, is my man, Lieutenant Dan.
Not Lieutenant Dan like in Forrest Gump.
Well, I think he's a little bit quicker than Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump. Lieutenant Dan, he's 3 for 3 this year. He's won 3 of 4 lifetime at Del Mar. And like I said, horse for the course. I think it's important to have success. It's not the key factor, but it is a factor. So Lieutenant Dan, Steve Miotti trained, really has done very well this year. Like I said, he's 3 for 3. So Lieutenant Dan, that may be another horse that we can score with. Definitely a good horse to play across the board because, I feel like he'll be double-digit odds, maybe 20 to 1 or better. Who knows? But I think that there you go. Lieutenant Dan is the man.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any more?
Yeah, I think we're going to talk about a horse called Going to Vegas. Going to Vegas is going to be in the filly and mare turf. Now, Going to Vegas is kind of like She Dares the Devil. Probably not going to be a tremendous long shot, but won't be the favorite either. Now, the turf races usually have a large infusion of European horses because that's what they do over in Europe. They run on the grass. They don't run dirt races over there. They run on the grass. So their horses, that's what they do all the time. So they're very good at the turf races, and there will be a large infusion in all of these big turf races. So Going to Vegas, very, very good horse, but not like the favorite. She has won 3 in a row and 4 out of 6 in 2021. She's kind of figured herself out. Richard Baltas trained. She's won very impressively her last couple of starts. So there you go, Going to Vegas. And if you're thinking about, playing something and rolling the dice a little bit, why not go with Going to Vegas? You know what I mean? So she's not going to be a tremendous long shot, but we're going to talk about another long shot that we have a personal connection with. And this will be a big long shot. Now, that's in the turf. And the turf race, it's $4 million race. There will be a number of European horses, a large number of European horses in this race. In fact, I think the Europeans have won the race. Since 2010, there's only been 3 North American bred horses who have won, or North American based horses who have won this race. So it's European dominated. But hey, if you're shooting for the stars, we're going to take an Astronaut. We like Astronaut, and Astronaut.
Yeah, we saw Astronaut win the Del Mar Handicap.
Exactly right. That was back on August 21st, his last race. Super, super impressive. I think the key to that race was Victor Espinoza, the jockey. Victor put on one of the best displays of riding that I've seen in a long time. He put Astronaut in a perfect position. He boxed in United, who was the race favorite, and United will be running in this race as well. But he boxed in United. United couldn't get out. Astronaut could. Down the stretch, tremendous turn of foot, and there you go. Astronaut was shooting and we were shooting for the stars because we had him, so it was a fantastic day. But another great thing about Astronaut is he's been ultra consistent this year. He's been first or second in every race this year. So I think he's got 2 wins and 4 seconds in 6 starts this year. Now, he has not run since we saw him that day in the Del Mar Handicap, but what John Sheriff's, his trainer, told me was he wants to bring him in with a lot of energy. He's not worried about his fitness level. He thinks he's plenty fit. He just wants him to have plenty of pent-up energy. And, these thoroughbreds, they're such wonderful athletes. They get all geeked up, just like I am right now. They get all geeked up when it comes race day, and they want to run. That's what they're bred to do. That's what they live to do. That's what they love to do, is they love to run, and they love to be competitive. And Astronaut, he could be a daymaker now, like I'm telling you, because he's going to be a big long shot, and I'm certainly say that I'll have a ticket on him for sure.
Right. But you're going to have a ticket on most of the horses.
Well, that's true that. Yeah.
Okay. So the Breeders' Cup Classic is the richest race of the event with a Louis Vuitton-like $6 million purse. Give us your thoughts on the Classic.
The Breeders' Cup Classic, wow. This year, it's just one of those wow races, okay? There is a lot of front-end speed in this race. A lot of front-end speed.
Those Gates Wire horses are always exciting. And Nick's Go is the top-rated horse in the country. He's in this race, right?
Yep, Nick's Go is, and you're absolutely right. And he's one of those horses that he can just run them off their feet. He just gets out there. He wants the lead. He gets the lead. And he just keeps on going. So, what Brad Cox has told me, Brad Cox trained horse. Once again, we're talking Brad Cox here. Like I said, he's a top one in the game right now. He's Brad Cox trained, and Brad says around 2 turns, he's better. I think around 2 turns, because it's like he kind of winds himself up around the first turn, and then when he turns for home, then he really cuts it loose, and he does. And Nick's Go has been uber impressive. He flat out runs them off their feet. That's what he does. So Nick's Go is one of them. But you've also got some other front end speed horses. Hot Rod Charlie. Hot Rod Charlie as heroic a horse as you're going to find. He's a 3-year-old. Now, he won the Louisiana Derby gate to wire. He won the Pennsylvania Derby gate to wire. So, I mean, he likes to get out there and go too. That's his game plan. Then we also have Medina Spirit in the race. Medina Spirit won the Kentucky Derby. How'd he win it? Gate to wire. So then in his last 2 starts, he won a race at Del Mar, which was a shared belief. How'd he win that? Gate to wire. Then he won the Awesome Again Stakes at Santa Anita, which was a Breeders' Cup win in your in race, and that got him in this. How did he win that one? Gate to wire. Now, here's the thing about Medina Spirit. I think he's a little underrated because, some of the stuff that's going on after the Derby and all that stuff, people thought, he is for real. He is the real deal. Here's the one thing he's got going for him, Bob Baffert. Big race Bob is, when it comes time for the money to be on the line, I don't know who's better. Over the course of the last 20 years, there is nobody better. Bob Baffert. So Bob will have the horse ready. I've talked to Bob this week. Hey, he's ready. He's ready. So that Medina Spirit, that's another horse. Now, okay, so those are the front end speed horses, but you've got other horses in this race. Essential Quality. Essential Quality is probably the best 3-year-old. He's the most accomplished 3-year-old in the game today. He won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile last year. He was undefeated going in the Kentucky Derby, had a wide trip and a difficult trip. He wound up finishing 4th, but he was like only a length from winning. Then he bounced back. He wins the Travers, and he also won the Belmont. Yeah, he won the Belmont, 1.5 miles, and then he won the Travers at 1.25 miles. So distance is absolutely no problem for Essential Quality because this is a 1.25 mile race, this Breeders' Cup Classic is. So distance is not a problem. The thing about Essential Quality that may make this setup great for him, he comes from off the pace. Now he'll stalk the pace or he'll come from off the pace, but he's not a front end speed horse. But he's got plenty in the tank, plenty of gas in the tank. You've also got horses like Art Collector, who's a horse that's really, really coming right now. He won the Gold Cup, I think. And then you've also got Express Train, and you've got Idle, and you've got Tripoli. Tripoli won the Pacific Classic at Del Mar. So, this race is just flat loaded. You got Max Player. It just goes on and on and on. So the Breeders' Cup Classic, it truly is a classic. And I'm just, I don't know what to say. It's just one of those things where I'm just giddy just thinking about the excitement this race could be. Who's going to get the lead? We know that there's 3 of them that absolutely want the lead, but who's going to get it? Who can make this race play out the way they want it to? That's kind of what may decide it is who can make it play out the way they want it to. If Nixco can make the lead and can keep on going, I don't know. I don't think Nixco has won at 1.25 miles, but Brad Cox, he's not scared of the 1.25 miles. We know Essential Quality has. We know Hot Rod Charlie, he hasn't won at 1.25 miles. He won at 1 mile and 3/16 with the Louisiana Derby. And we also know Medina Spirit, the Kentucky Derby, is 1.25 miles. So, it's one of those things where who can let it play out the way they want it to. That's going to be one of the keys in the Classic.
So you've given us all these different picks for the Classic, but which horse do you think is going to win?
Well, I think it's really, really tough. It's a very tough race. At this juncture today, I probably have to give the nod to Essential Quality. I think he's got more of an advantage because of the front-end speed duel that I feel like is going to set up. If they run too fast, too early, that sets it up for a horse who comes from off the pace or who stalks the pace, which is what Essential Quality does. That's what he did in the Belmont Stakes. He ran Hot Rod Charlie down. That's what he did in the Travers Stakes too. So he didn't run the Hot Rod Charlie down, but still he ran by Midnight Bourbon, and bingo, he won the Travers. So very, very exciting race. So I feel like that it probably sets up better for Essential Quality than it does anyone. But I'm not going to make my final pick probably until we get closer to race time when I can get a feel for how they're working, how they like the track, how they're settled in, all that kind of stuff. But you can catch my live pick on Facebook. I'll go Facebook Live on both days, on Friday and Saturday, and give you some more insight on the Breeders' Cup, especially the Classic, and who I think is going to be the winner of the Breeders' Cup Classic will be on Facebook Live Horse Racing Scoop. Because like I said, there's so many variables and so many things can happen between now and race day. But right now, I think the early nod goes to Essential Quality. He's a very quality horse, and he's very essential. So Essential Quality, there you go. Brad Cox trained. He's the man. So talking about all these superstars in the Breeders' Cup, man, it's got me pumped. If you can't tell, I'm just giddy because this is the greatest sporting event in the world, and we've got all this competition. Now, I hope that we've given you some food for thought, some valuable information that can help you back a horse and get paid. Now, what we have to remember here is there's more to backing a horse and getting paid than just cashing a ticket. When you think about the adrenaline rush and the excitement that it generates, and all those wonderful things that sports are designed to do, this is what it's all about. Plus, don't forget about the food, the fashion, the beverages, all the other stuff that goes along with horse racing. It's the most wonderful sport in the whole wide world. So remember, if you got a hunch, bet a bunch, back a horse and get paid. You can catch the Breeders' Cup. If you can't be there, you can catch it on NBC Sports. They'll be telecasting. I think both days you can catch up, and you can also wager online at your favorite spot there. But like I said, back a horse and get paid. Our next episode of the Horse Racing Scoop podcast will talk about life after the Breeders' Cup, because the Breeders' Cup, it is the Breeders' Cup, it's the World Championships, but their racing continues after that. There are graded stakes that will be run for the rest of the year. So there's a lot of stuff still happening in this sport. This isn't the end. It can only be the beginning. So we'll talk about the Breeders' Cup. We'll review some of the things that happen there, and we'll also spill over into what's going to happen the rest of the year. Who's hot, who's not, and what's happening. So remember, if you got a hunch, bet a bunch, back a horse, and get paid. So don't forget, tune in Facebook Live, because things can change between now and when the Breeders' Cup is run. So don't forget to tune in on Facebook Live at the Horse Racing Scoop, and we're going to give you some more picks and pans and some thoughts, because we'll be at Del Mar November 5th and 6th for the greatest sporting event in the world. Horse Racing Scoop would like to thank our sponsors, the wonderful folks at Anderson Wealth Planning, Dr. Automotive, HorseRacing24.com, and Horse Races Now. Be sure and like this video and subscribe to the Horse Racing Scoop YouTube channel. And always remember, if you got a hunch, bet a bunch, back a horse, and get paid. You must be 21 or older and in Tennessee to place wagers. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789.